wise and those lips on standby, probably sipping red wine, wrapped up in a blanket, kicking back on the couch, that smile on her face.
Welcome to the show. Today, I have Josh Addair here with me to tell about all the good things that God is bringing into his life. Josh, thank you so much for being a guest on my show again today.
Yes, this is starting to feel like home. I'm glad that you asked me to come back.
Yeah, listen, you're starting to feel like part of the Christy Adams Show family.
Yes,
and the
awesome.
Severe TV family.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. So like I said, you're here to talk about all the things that God's doing in your life. There's one huge thing that I cannot wait for you to share. So let's go ahead and jump into it and tell the viewers what you're doing.
Okay, so I guess we could start from the last time I was on. We were kind of gearing up to collect material to record and put together an album. And then right after Christmas, I had a gentleman message me who I had been talking with, had been acquaintances with for the last 2 years. And when we put out About a Girl, the song About a Girl, he messaged me and was like, hey, love the song. If you ever need any, I do production work. So if you ever need anyone to come into the studio with you, next project, just give me a shout. And, a lot of times with stuff like that, you just don't, there's a lot of us, we're always networking and that kind of thing. You know how that is. So literally I was just like, okay, yeah, but over 2 years, we really kind of kept in touch and that kind of thing. And he seen that I was gearing up to do a new project, and he said, or he sent me a message and he was like, let me help you, and I was like, okay, so, what do you got? And he was like, why don't you give me your phone number so we can kind of talk this week? And I gave him my number, and he sent me he called me and left me a voicemail. And because I was busy and didn't get to the phone, and he was like, hey, so I just wanted you to know that I work for a record label, and I have passed your stuff off to the CEO of the label, and he really wants to talk to you. So here we are gearing up for this album or this project that I was going to do for myself. And what was funny is right at the beginning of the year, just in prayer, I told the Lord, I was like, I'm just going to give this to you. I'm going to let you handle this. And when you open the doors, I'll walk through them. And it was literally 2 or 3 days after that this message came. So I was like, okay, so sure, I'll talk to him. And we get on the phone. We set up an in-person meeting in Chattanooga. And I go down and I meet with him. And it just seemed like everything was right. So thank goodness, here we are in March now. And we have officially signed a record deal with Eminent Records. So
that makes me so happy. Like I could cry. I could literally cry right now.
Yeah.
Because Josh, I tell you, if anybody I know deserves it, you do.
Well, thank you.
You deserve all the good things.
Thank you.
And gosh, I'm really on the verge of tears. And this makes me really happy for you because, like we talked last year, you've been at this for 2 decades.
It's been a long time.
That's a long time. That is a long time.
It is.
And one of my questions I was going to ask you in a little bit, I'll go ahead and talk about it now. I was going to say, when you finally do, go wide open, people are going to say, wow, where'd he come from? He's never not a success. But they don't see the 20 years that you've,
It's true.
They just don't see that.
Yep.
So that's why I say you deserve all the good things, because you've really been faithful to your craft. You haven't got discouraged and quit. You haven't been like, forget it. It wasn't a fly-by-night thing for you. You've really stayed at it.
Yes.
And so, I'm just so happy. So what does your wife, Rebecca, think about this?
So she's really excited. When we were given the contract to look over and that kind of thing, I made sure that she was a part of that, because I told her, I said, this isn't something that I'm going into. This is something that we as a family are going into. So, making sure that my family stays number one priority is what's really important to me. So she was just over the moon. And every day, I think, since, she's told me, Josh, I'm so proud of you because you haven't given up. And this goes to show that hard work really does pay off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and always dream big, because big dreams
That's
do come
it.
true.
Yes.
So what do your kids think about? So how old are your kids? First of all, you don't have to share if you don't. If that's
Oh yeah. No. So we have one who he's Noah is 10, and then little Miss Israel is 3 years old.
So what does Noah think about all this? Does he understand what's going on with you, or?
He does. I kind of I think he uses it as a bragging tool at school. They don't realize that I'm not cool at all, but because I'll go pick him up and his friends will run up to me and be like, "Hey, I heard you were a famous country singer."
That's so sweet.
I'm like, I'm not.
No,
But
listen, revel in it now, because when he's about 13,
Yeah.
that's when they really don't think you're cool.
listen, it's already starting to come to the part where he's like, he's over me. He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. I wondered about that. I thought, I wonder what Noah thinks about all this. It has to be exciting. And, Josh, the simple fact that you are making it a family thing
Yeah.
and keeping your family first, God sees that.
Absolutely.
He really does. He sees that. So I'm really, really happy. So, what did they think about, like, the producers and stuff, and the CEO? What does he think about A Girl? Because that's my favorite song.
Yeah. So he's listened to it. Thank goodness. That was one of the songs that he heard when he was considering me for the label, and loved it. He said that not only is it a written song, which I wasn't really a part of. I added some lines, but the song was pitched to us. However, not only is it well written, but the studio work and everything that we done in completion of that song was just spot on. And not only that, but he also seen the video. So we were able to kind of use all that package, I guess, to promote ourselves to a label that I didn't even realize we were promoting ourselves to.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that, like, we think that, listen, we think we're in charge of our lives, and we think we're driving this thing, and we're going this way, and God goes, no, wait, you're supposed to be over here. Here, let me put you over here.
Sure.
And that's what he did. Like, you were doing the things that you knew to do, and then you said, God, it's in your hands. And 3 days later, there he was intervening for you and taking over.
Yeah.
I mean, man, if that don't make a believer out of you, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
It's
It's
something.
been amazing.
Yeah, I love it. So, speaking of About a Girl, like I said, that's my favorite song you do. Is that your most requested song? Do people love that?
Yes, for sure. I think just because, in the last 2 years, it's really been the only material that we've put out. So going forward, I'm looking forward to releasing new music and that kind of thing. But not that I'm saying that I love that song. Mm-hmm. And when we chose that song, it had such a meaning for me. So it is the most popular at the moment, for sure.
People get tied to things. Like, for example, I interviewed Jeffrey Reddick last year, the creator, director of Final Destination franchise.
Yes.
And I talked about that, and he started naming other things, and I was like, "That's true," but in my mind, he's Final Destination. Sure. In my mind, you're About a Girl.
Yeah.
In my mind, Blake Shelton is Old Red. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, we do have to accept other things, but I
Sure.
think we do get known for certain things.
Yeah.
So.
I think so too. Yeah. Even the biggest stars, they have a hit
Yeah.
that is always saved to last in their shows because that's the song. You know?
Like Michael Jackson, probably Thriller or Beat It or something, Yeah. So we just talked about dream big, because big dreams do come true. Do you feel like that your big dreams have finally come true, or are you just getting started?
Well, it's funny because I just had this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and to people on the outside, I think that this seems like I've made it, I've arrived. But, and I told them, I said, this just means that now the work begins. For me, doing what I've done for as long as I've done it, it has been great. Now I get to continue to build on that, but I have a team behind me who also believes and is going to help support the vision that I have. So I kind of feel like we're in the same spot. However, now we have this endless availability to resources and help and promoters. Yeah. So, yeah.
I completely get that.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're coming from, because sometimes when you feel like you're on your own, it is hard, because you're like, man, I'm doing this. And then when you have people behind you, it's almost like they're, and I hate to, quote a Bette Midler song, but they're the wind beneath your wings. They're there to push you, you know, and so it does make it a lot easier. So, yeah, I love that. So I want to talk about, like I said, you've been at this for 2 decades. Did you ever get discouraged? Were there times that you were discouraged and you felt like, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to get signed with a record label?
Sure. So I think what's funny is that I've had so many people make comments to me in the last while. You've always stayed on this and you've always stayed about this. And it's funny, it almost feels dishonest to me because there have been many times in the last 20 years that I just didn't feel like it. That I felt like I was just running my head into a wall and going nowhere, just spinning my wheels. And there were many days that I thought, why? Why do I keep doing this to myself? I should just stop. And, but there's something about passion and drive. And it's one of those things where I feel like I will always be doing music. It doesn't matter because it truly is who I am at the deepest core of my life. From the time I was born, like literally it's been ingrained in my life. And I think that if there wasn't a record deal, if there wasn't places to play, if there wasn't people to listen, I would still be singing and writing because it's who I am. It's in my DNA, regardless of all the other things.
Yeah. Like talking about that, I hate to bring up Jeffrey Reddick again, but I'm going to. Because
Sure.
We talked about that too. We talked about how if you're chasing fame, you're going to burn out because fame is fleeting. It's hard to get.
Yeah.
Very few people get to that level. So if that's what you're chasing, you're going to get discouraged and you're going to quit. But if you're doing it because you're passionate about it, because you love it, you'll do it whether one person's clapping or whether 1,000 people or nobody,
Yeah.
because it's coming out of you. And it's like I said, me and Amy talk all the time. The last children's book, the last 3 books that I wrote were a children's book series. The last one I wrote, I haven't even advertised it anywhere. It's on Amazon. I haven't even advertised it. And the reason that I didn't is because I didn't write it to, well, I mean, of course I'd love to sell it, but I
Sure.
didn't write it to get rich off of or try to make a lot of money. I wrote it because it was in me.
Yeah.
So whether anybody buys my books or not, I'm going to write just because that's my thing.
Yeah.
So I completely understand it being your passion.
And trying to stop it is just unnatural. And I'm sure as a creative, you understand that. But there have been times that suppressing that for me has made me physically ill and in a really bad place mentally. So it's extremely important that people who are creatives have that outlet.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. There's been times where I've lately, I've been really busy with my show and some other things in my life, and I haven't been able to write. And I tried to write a couple weekends ago, and I got a few paragraphs, but I was like, but then I told Amy, I'm like, well, it's not really my season right now.
Yeah.
So, hopefully I'll be back in that soon. Sure. But, so you were kind enough to be one of our judges / mentors for
Yes.
our singing competition that we had. I want to thank you so much. Listen, I don't know if all the artists that you mentored told you or not, but they certainly reached back out to us and bragged on you and talked about how much that you poured into them, and I appreciate that, and I know they did too.
Yeah.
So what caused you to want to give so much to them?
I am one of those people who truly I believe that it takes everybody, and I feel like I will support anyone who has a dream and wants to chase it because I know what it seems like when all the odds are against you. So I want everybody to succeed. And I think there's room for everybody. Yeah. And when I was presented the opportunity, I feel like that was a God thing too, that it was just a way for me to give back into, because I'm a servant at heart. Regardless of what, I'm a servant at heart. And I was kind of in a slump place when that came about. And when it was presented to me, I want to do this because I'm going to get the opportunity to serve these people. And, I said it on the show and I'll say it again. There's not a whole lot of difference between me and them. We're all chasing the same goal. And to be able to just sit down and have conversations with them, I made a point to do Skype calls with each of the contestants and just talk to them about not only this is a strategic moment that you can sing this song or do this, but where are you in life? And, what does that look like for you now? And what are you doing? What are you currently working on? So it was a blessing to me. I loved being a part of it, and I loved being able to support them and them feel like they had my support.
They
Yeah.
definitely felt that way. They have told me and Amy both through emails and stuff. They definitely
good.
felt that, and I'm just so proud of you for that. And I have so much respect for you. And I swear, I think you're my brother from another mother
think
because
so.
we have a lot in common as far as that. Like, I love helping people make their dreams come true and helping people move forward because I know what that feels like too, and I know what it feels like to feel like you're just like paddling against the tide or whatever.
Sure.
And like Amy says, rising water floats all boats. So who was the person in your life that done that for you, that was your person who poured into you and kept you going when you felt discouraged?
So I just think that the people that you surround yourself with makes all the difference in the world. And when you just say that automatically, when it comes to music, there's one guy who comes to mind, and he has been in my life since the very early stages of me playing music. And he still to this day will call, ironically, his name is Josh, but he and I will talk occasionally. And even in the times that I haven't really had a whole lot going on, he'll say, all right, so what are you working on? And if my response is, there's not a lot going on right now, before the conversation's over, he's pushed me into having something going on.
Wow.
Because he's just like, he believes in me so much that he's been there to be like, even when you're in a slump, all right, let's pick it back up and let's get it going. You've got work to do, so that means a lot to me. And he's a fantastic musician, fantastic writer, and I've learned so much from him, and just him being honest with me. Earlier in the years, he went to Nashville with me, and we've played everywhere. He played guitar and sung back up for me, and any opportunity I had, I could call on Josh, and he was there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You know what? What a fantastic human. I
Yeah.
want to meet this Josh
Yeah,
guy.
he's
Josh,
a
if you're
great
out
guy.
there, I want to meet you.
Josh Shepard.
Wow. I mean, what a good person.
Yeah, he's great.
What a good person. So I love that you had somebody to push you. We all need that. He sounds like an angel. I mean, really, gosh.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. So what would you say to up and coming artists who are maybe behind you a few steps, like, now you've signed with a record label, who want to achieve what you have, who want to be where you're at? What would you say to them if they're feeling discouraged? Because sometimes we feel like we take one step forward and two backwards. So what would you say to them right now if they're feeling like that?
I would just say, keep going. That sometimes it's not going to always look like you think it's going to look, and you just need to keep at it. Know who you are in your core, and stay true to that regardless, and just keep trucking, and eventually your opportunity will come.
Yeah. I agree. That's like, whenever Amy had sent the emails out, after, we had the top 3 in the singing competition. And of course, the other 8, they didn't get to go, but
Sure.
even coming as far as they did, that was great. That was a win. That was still a win. And she told him, she said, don't get discouraged. This is not the end of the road. And so, like, one of our contestants, I don't know if you saw this on his page, he's now nominated for an award.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Joey Ferris. Did
Oh,
you see
okay.
that? Yeah,
No, I
and
didn't
I
see
was
that.
like, for his song that he sung here,
Wow.
Mama Pick Me Up or something. And I was like, see, that's so just because they got a no here didn't mean that was the end of the road.
No.
And sometimes we think, like, I've been told no before, and I'm like, oh man, it's discouraging. But there's always an open door somewhere.
Always.
We just have to go look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I can't even tell you how many times, even when it comes to national singing competitions, American Idol, The Voice, I feel like I have auditioned for those shows since I was old enough to, every year. And then even there have been a couple of instances that I've gotten so close, and then it's a no.
Yeah.
And at that point, I could have said, well, this isn't for me. Mm-hmm. But I just kept going.
Yeah.
And so it pays to just to stay consistent.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I mean, you say, like, you could have said, this isn't for me. But instead, you can say, well, this isn't for me right now.
Right.
Like there's something else.
Sure.
So because this singing clearly is for you, because
Yeah.
God gave you the gift. Listen, we all have a gift, and that's what I talked about with someone not too long ago. We all have gifts. It was Joe Baggett, and we talked about everybody has a gift somehow. You just have to find it.
Yeah.
My gift is talking. What I got punished for in grade school. I had to stand in the corner for talking too much. And then so when I got into junior high and high school, I was painfully, excruciatingly shy. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't even talk to anyone. So my teachers really hindered that in me. And it took me a long time after that. And now look at me, I'm talking for a living.
Right.
So,
That's great.
but I love that you haven't let anything, even though you felt discouraged, you didn't let it
Sure.
make you quit. And there's two types of people in the world, Josh. Those with enough determination to keep going through the hard times and just keep going.
Yeah.
And then those people who give up and say, well, you know what, if I can't get it my way or right now, I'm going to quit. And they'll never get anywhere. So, yeah, I'm just so proud of you and so happy for you.
Well,
so,
thank you.
Yeah. So today you're not going to sing,
No.
but we're going to debut your video
Sweet.
about a girl on the
Yeah.
show.
Awesome.
So I want to talk before we do that, before we cut to that. I want to talk about because you were, like I said, you were on last year, and we talked about that. So for the people who maybe didn't see your episode, which it was highly rated, that episode was
That's
one of
awesome.
our highly rated episodes. But so for those who maybe didn't see it, tell me about what that video means to you.
So just for a recap, when we done that video, we had released a song and we're looking to do a video. And I just had the opportunity. Our hometown has a fair every year. It's called the Magnolia Fair. And I grew up going to this thing, and they always had artists come, and we would go down and watch. They would have Ricochet and T. Graham Brown, who just got inducted to the Grand Ole Opry, and just all of these people. And when I was 13 years old, it was the first time I ever got to open up for a headliner, and I was asked to do it at the Magnolia Fair, and it was for T. Graham Brown. So for me, this event held so much, and they stopped doing it for a while because I think funds and just things, and they decided to kick it back off. And when they did, they contacted me then and asked me if I would headline for the fair that year. And I was just beside myself because it felt like everything just came full circle. Mm-hmm. So it hit in the time that we were looking to record the video. And I opposed the idea. What if we do this? Like, I'm going back to my hometown to play this fair. So that's what we did. We recorded the whole video. They followed us around with cameras for the day. And it paid off. So I was really pleased with it when it was done.
Yeah, I love it. And I love that it's your full circle moment.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, that's quite a feeling. So,
Yeah.
So we're going to take a break and we're going to watch Josh's video, and I know you're going to love it. We'll be right back.
He is a 2006 graduate of Matewan High School, and he has spent the last 20 years in country music industry performing, writing, and touring. It is the time everyone has been waiting for. It's time for Josh Addair!
Game's up on the big screen. We're up 2 for 1 for ones, and the waitress is pulling the free drinks. Cause she's from where we're from. Yeah, everything about this should be a good old boy's dream. And the guys won't let me live it down as I'm walking out. Just gotta see about those baby blue eyes and those lips on standby. Probably sipping red wine, wrapped up in a blanket, kicking back on the couch. That smile on her face said, where you been, babe? Got a thing that can't wait. I just want a song, gonna sing about a girl. She got my heart. Heaven help me, she's a work of art. Never felt so far, never felt so hard.
Used to live for the weekend, hit up downtown soon as we clocked out. Couldn't wait to see where the night went. Now the only view that I'm running to
Those baby blue those lips on standby, probably sipping red wine, wrapped up in a blanket, kicking back on the couch. I smile on her face, saying, where you been, babe? Got a thing that I can't wait. I just want a song I'm gonna see about a girl. She got my heart. Heaven help me, she's a work of art. Never feel so far. Never feel so hard. Kicking back on the couch, I smile on her face, saying, where you been, babe? Got a thing that I can't wait. I just want a song I'm gonna sing about a girl. She got my heart. Heaven help me, she's a work of art. Never feel so far. Never feel so hard. Yeah, she got my heart. Heaven help me, she's a work of art. Never feel so far. Never feel so hard.
Oh, you guys, that was so good. I know you loved that video as much as I did. That's our hometown, those mountains, Josh. I mean, I
Yep.
just, I get a little choked up whenever I see those mountains. So
Yes.
I love it. I'm proud of being from West Virginia. I know it's got a bad rap, but I love it.
Yes.
I'm
Same.
glad I grew up there. So,
Me too.
listen, I want to thank you so much for coming on again
Absolutely.
and sharing all the good things. Like I said, you
Yes.
deserve it so much. And
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. So,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's next for you? Where can people see you? I know what's next, your record, but
Yes.
where can people see you? Are you playing anywhere?
So we actually, I guess next is definitely we're going to start doing some co-writes and listening to some songs, and hopefully we're going to get in the studio and be putting music out for you all to hear. And then after that, they are actually working currently on the Boys of Summer tour, and I'm going to get the opportunity to be a part of that with Eminent Records, and we're going to be going around. And I think the cities and the dates are still to be announced, but they're looking at places like Gatlinburg, and I think we're going to be going into Georgia and Chattanooga and Nashville, and just a lot of different places that we're going to get to travel and see and do and play. So I will have those on my website for sure, just as soon as those dates are solidified and set in stone.
Yeah, I
So.
can't wait for that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I did see that on, I followed them, Eminent Records, after you
Oh,
posted
awesome.
it. Yeah, I went over and liked their page because I was like, I don't keep up with them too.
Yeah, for sure.
And I saw that. And I was like, the Boys of Summer tour. That sounds great. So I'll have to come follow you guys. I'll be the one with the phone flashlight,
Yes.
like
Yes,
what old
yes.
Red that does. So
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. I know you have loved this just as much as I have. Josh is always a welcome guest. And like I said, he's a brother from another mother to me. We have so much in common. And tune in again next week for another great episode. And remember to always dream big, because big dreams do come true.
Sheerly Blessed Designs, owned and operated by cosmetologist Stacy Wilson, offers a full line of services, including haircuts, color, texturizing, and even waxing. If your tresses need some TLC, or if you just need a self-care day, call Stacy at 865-363-7076 to schedule an appointment. Everyone deserves to look and feel their absolute best. Sheerly Blessed Designs is located at 10015 Rutledge Pike in Corrington, Tennessee.